Looks like we are live, but I forgot where I put my microphone. Here's the microphone. Okay. I was stepping on the microphone. Hold on. I'm going to wait a little bit for everyone to show up. I got the heater going in the background. Hopefully that's not going to be too noisy. So, let's see. I guess I'll give you guys a chance to pick the material again. Well, I do want to do one thing. After I do it, you can pick it. Let's see. Is that the piece? I'm going to try napping this challenge rock here. Yes, Texas chert. We'll wait till everyone gets here. Hey, Danny Moore is here. Okay, so there's another piece of Texas challenge rock that I was going to nap. Hold on. Well, you don't got no choice. You got to sit and wait until I get my act together. Where is it? I probably put it in a safe place. So safe, I don't know where it is. Right. That's what I probably did. I'm looking at my bucket of rocks. Actually, it's just a bucket of flakes. I got a request to make a Frio point, and I thought I had a good chunk. No, that's not too bad. I need a good chunk, good sized chunk for a Frio point. Most of these are smallish. I gotta be careful. Yeah, that looks okay. Let's see, we got Jim Main, we got Alan, James Hayes, howdy, Jesse Williams. All right, so we got people. I'm trying to figure out what rock I'm going to use for that Frio point. I got requested to do a Texas point, so I said, yes, I will do it. Oh, that's some nice amoeba chert. Dark, very dark color. Yeah, let's save that for a little bit later. This one looks kind of rough. I don't know if I want to nap that one. Hey, I didn't know I had that in here. Let's see. Let's keep that out. Maybe I'll offer it in the next auction. But I don't want to mess with it. I probably was going to heat treat it. Probably was gonna. So, yeah, these rocks are from Sal. So, most of them. Some of them I actually paid money for it. All right, so yeah, I got, okay. All right. So this is good. I got a good selection here. So, is that it? Well, we got 45 watching, so we got plenty. I'm going to start napping here. And I will try to explain it. I'll try to explain the madness. This is Texas chert. All this is raw Texas chert that I'm going to be napping until I can find a piece that I can make that Frio point from. This one is actually high grade, I think, except for some of the inclusions. This is not very long as far as size. DK 11,000. Uh-oh, you might have to delete Mr. DK 11,000. Unless he's just joking around. It's 4 inches. 4 by 3. Scott Goldsberry is here. Let's go. Ross is here. Good evening. Let's see. Yeah, Jim's being a good sport. Okay. I can see we're off to a really good start. In case you don't know, I'm in Vermont knapping Texas rocks. Yep. Live from Vermont, in the land of winter, proper winter. We had some snow yesterday, little bit. Yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. Let's see, Bob says, can you make me Kratos blades? What is that? What is Kratos blades? Never heard of it, and I've been knapping for quite a long time. Jesse says, Huntsville, Alabama, we still have 70s here. Right now it's like 37 degrees here in Vermont. Last time I checked it was 37. And it's gonna dive below freezing here very soon, now that the sun's already down. Let's see, Sin Aaron, I have obsidian from Lake County, California, and it is not known to be great material. It has a lot of inclusions in the form of micro air bubbles. Yeah, but some of that stuff naps okay, even if it has bubbles. What rock is that you're tipping or what? Yeah, this is Texas chert. St. Edwards Plateau chert. It's high grade, actually. Yeah. Edwards Plateau chert comes in many varieties. Some people move to Texas just so they can be around stone that you can flint knap, because a lot of the stuff you can pick up on private property is just laying on top of the surface. But you gotta know people, and you have to ask permission. Yeah, all the easy to get rock in Texas is already picked up. Long ago, they already picked it all up. Well, almost all of it. Let's see. Is it a rock, says Bryce? Yeah, it's a rock. In case you didn't know, they're flakes from rocks. Styly Designs is here, yay! Okay, so we got 117. Lots of people here already. Dang. Hit the like button. Unless only 12 of you like this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised you watch it without liking it. There's a lot of hate watching out there. I hate watching this stuff, but I watch it anyway because I got nothing better to do. Yeah, got nothing better to do. Ross says, is that copper bopper solid all the way through? It's all, I don't know if it goes all the way into the handle all the way down through, but it probably has a little bolt or screw holding it in on top of the handle. Yeah, but this is solid up on top. It's not a cap. I don't know how it's attached It's probably got a bolt or something in there, or some all thread. Let me see what else is going on. Tommy Taylor's here. Do you know the sharpest one you've ever made? They get sharper and sharper as I make them, as I get more and more experience, so the sharpest ones are always my latest ones. Big amoebas around Tierra Linda Ranch, says Tommy Anderson. Old San Antonio Road. Sweet. Tierra Linda Ranch. But you can't trespass. Let's see. Neolithic is my style, says Ren. Sign Ren. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Syneren. Neolithic is my style. I picked it up and have a hard time learning how to use newer knapping tools. I see. Dawn Reed. Hey Gary, you're here. Jim Cooper's here. Let's see. Can you show me some of them in that pile, said Bryce. Where? What are you talking about? Low water crossings for the... I guess they're talking about where the Flint's located, or the church, or the amoebas. Bill Taylor just went through the chat, and so you know Lake County is not in California. Alan says smash the like button. Yes, yes. Tap the screen on the mobile. Jack Crafty is napping Texas rock. Yep. Tice Bray. Hi, I'm new to Flint Knapping group and would like to know if it's possible to make tools out of deer antlers and have some already cut up. And if you could tell me how to make them in tools, please. Yeah, just type in Jack Crafty antler tools. Let's see. I have a little tutorial on how I cut up some antler. Let's see if I can find my own stuff. Sometimes I can't. I have got over 2,000 videos, so you can type in what you think I might have covered. Jack Crafty antler tools. Let's see if that comes up with something. Whitetail antler tools. That's video number 388. Way a long time ago when I used to use a lot of antlers. Okay, so you can look at that one. Just type in 388 Jack Crafty. It'll know it. And then there's another one on Antler Tools 397. Okay. And then I have videos on modern tools. Let's see. Deer antlers and hafting with elm bast. Oh yeah, I also show you how to cut up antler on this one. It's video 659. But there's other guys that have videos on how to make tools out of antlers. Yeah, you know that you can do searches on the internet. Yeah, on YouTube. You can do searches on YouTube. You didn't know? Let's see. Operation Extras, did you get the agave knife I sent? The link I sent on Instagram? I think I did, but I've gotten like 80 links on Instagram, so from different people. I gotta find it. You gotta send me a separate email so that I know which one it is. And if it's not, if you're on Instagram, you can just remind me on Instagram. You're not going to be bugging me if you remind me. I get so many requests, and I get so many Instagram messages and emails and things like that with just short little requests or short little blurbs on pictures, little links to things. I get hundreds of those. So if I haven't responded, I apologize. You can send me a reminder though. I know you've asked before because it sounds familiar. So yeah, I've seen agave knives, but I don't know if it's the specific one that you're thinking about. So what am I doing now? I'm using indirect percussion to start the process of bifacing to get rid of the cortex. This is the easy part. How am I doing this? I don't know. It's a mystery. It really is. It's like I'm watching someone else do it. Because it's just practice. If I try to explain it, I'm usually wrong about what's actually happening. Because it's very difficult to get the physics correct. The human brain understands how to do this, but not on a scientific level. It goes by feel. I kid about, getting your angleometers out so you can know the angles to hit this stuff, but the angles vary a lot. So you're not going to benefit from knowing the angle, just one angle. You need to know hundreds of different angles, because just a slight difference can make all the difference. Like if I just move it like this, there's like 10 angles in there. Just little increments. Little tiny increments. Just this little bit of movement right here makes a lot of difference in how the flakes look. Just a few degrees, that's it. Hey, $10 super chat. That looks like Jesse. Thank you. I'm going by your little avatar. Let's see here. I need to go down to the end of the chat. Let's see. Mike Mason's here. Hey, Buckskin NYB is Marty's here. Bill Taylor's here. Tommy Taylor. Red-Eyed Patriot, yay. Okay, our moderator is Red-Eyed Patriot. There's the super chat. I should be using my other phone to look at the chat, shouldn't I? It's too difficult to look at it. It's too difficult to look at it when I'm looking at the live feed camera. Right? Let me see. Where am I? I'm looking for my own self. No, that's not it. Yeah, there I am. For my own self. Turn down the volume. And now I can read the chat. Yes? Let's see. So people are telling us where the obsidian is. Jockenstein, J Money, yes. J Money's in the house. Yeah, 56.2 degrees. Danny knows the angles on the knapping. Okay. Angleometer fund. There you go. If you have an index finger and you've been scrolling with it, take a fraction of a second and hit the like button, unless it's out of range. If you have to move more than 1 inch to hit the like button, don't worry about it. I know how taxing it is to have to move the finger more than this. Yeah, well, I don't know where the like button is, dude. It's not really on there. It's not on the screen or anything. I gotta go somewhere else. Yeah, it probably is not that easy to hit the like button. I think you can double tap the screen, so as you're scrolling, you can double tap. Right? Someone said that last time. Bryson, can you show me some of them in that pile? I need to know what pile you're talking about. Yeah, double tap and you can like. Wait a second, look, we dropped it like to half the people because they didn't want to like it. It was up over 100 and now they didn't want to like it, so they left. Yeah, they must have thought it was somebody else. They thought they were on Sal's live stream. Yeah, so they left. Because it wasn't Sal. Or it wasn't Danny Collins. Who else is doing live streams on a regular basis? I try to do them 3 times a week, and I'm using the vertical format because somehow YouTube's reach is better with the vertical. I didn't believe it at first. Like, nah, that shouldn't make a difference because, you know, I've seen people do live streams in the vertical or post videos in vertical format and they don't do well. But sure enough, when I did it, lots of people showed up. So now I'm getting into the first stage of thinning. It's actually pretty good stuff. 151. I got 151 on that screen, and now there's 151. How does it jump from 80 to 151 so fast? Huh? Riddle me that, Batman. What is up? I don't understand it. It's all over the place. Maybe YouTube's lying about the number of people on there. Yeah. So they can get more advertisers. Maybe that's it. They're all bots. So what am I doing? This is the first stage of thinning. This is when it starts to get difficult. And I'm not going to be using the bopper because it's hard for me to be accurate with the bopper because I'm uncoordinated. Yes, yes. I always default to this teardrop shape. It's pretty basic. I can make almost any style of point starting from this shape. It's just a industrial grinding wheel abrader. It's modern material. It's not a rock or anything. Some people say, what is that rock? I've never seen it before in my life. What is it? It looks like a moon rock, dude. What are you doing napping with a moon rock? I wish I had that much money I could nap with these exotic abraders. Some people got really fancy stuff to nap with. And gadgets and all that. If you don't know about the gadgets and the fancy stuff with flint napping, then you've not been around for very long. Yeah. If you're just starting out, don't be limiting yourself to just 1 or 2 channels. You gotta watch everything because you'll miss out. Yeah. If you don't have fear of missing out or FOMO, then don't worry about it, but you will miss out if you don't go to different channels. Let's see, did it go back to 80 people again? Or are we up to a ridiculous amount of people? Let me see. 307. See, how does that work? It doubled. So does YouTube say, okay, he's napping now, come back on. Come back, guys. He's flint napping. So they all get back on. And then when I stop flint napping, it goes down to like 80 people again. Is that how it works? Because it doesn't do that with me when I try to watch a live stream. It doesn't remind me that there's something cool going on. Nope. Dang it. I got a step fractured. Now I got to stop. I got to quit. Bad luck. So much for that. It's over. Right? It's over now. I don't know what to do now. Are you kidding, dude? You kidding, right? It's not over. I seen you do it. Just do it. All right. I will try to do it. I'll leave it for the last step so that you'll suffer with seeing that step for actually the whole video. Yeah. Let's see if we can go back down to 80 viewers. This is, yeah, as it gets thinner and thinner, it gets more and more difficult. I recently put up a post asking people, if you could go back and ask anybody in the past about flint knapping, what would you ask? Or if you could go talk to a napper from the distant past and you had one question, what would you ask? I'm surprised that people are not asking, how come you did not die from an infection from cuts? How come you didn't die? I almost died because I had to go to the hospital because I got cuts from flint knapping. Yeah, how did they not die from cuts from flint knapping? That's what I want to know. And do you flint knap with the same hand you wipe your butt with? How does that work? I don't know. That's what I would ask. I'd ask like sanitation questions. Yeah. No, people were asking other stuff too. Like, I wonder how they made the fulsome points. Was it indirect percussion, direct percussion, a jig, or something we don't even know? Maybe special contraption that only the Stone Age people knew about. Yeah, that we're not smart enough to figure out. It could have been that. Could have been some weird contraption. Yeah. Did they heat treat the fulsomes before fluting? Or after fluting? Or both? Maybe they partially heat treated before. You know, a little bit, not too hot, not too much heat at first, and then more heat later. Did they travel 500 miles to get their rocks? Nobody knows. And I bet you if you could go back and you ask them and you found out, you would go, that's it? No way, dude. How do you get the flute by just doing that? It doesn't seem possible. And they'll show you, they do like maybe a direct percussion with a bopper, like they just hold it like this and go like that, and they get a perfect flute. And you go, what? That's it? Yeah, watch. I'll do the other side. Flips it over, does a little trimming. Okay, it's fluted now, both sides to the tip. And I was just holding it like this. And you would go, wait, what? I bet you that's what they did. Yeah. And never in a million years could we do that because we don't do 1 point our whole lives. If we did only 1 point style our whole lives, I bet you we could take the bopper just like this, make the preform and flute it from base to tip, flip it over, do a little trimming, and then and get another flute. It really super thin. I bet you if we only made 1 point our whole lives, I would challenge anyone to just make 1 point for 10 years straight. That's it. I bet you could do it. But then they would say, I'm not spending 10 years of my life on 1 point to figure it out and then show everybody my secret. There's no way. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it either. No. Hey, wait a second. Is there somebody else? What did I miss? Mike everything 4098. Let's see. And here I thought the ones I was buying were like hard ancient work. Yeah. Probably was not hard for them because they were like, hey dude, it's buffalo hunting time. What are you doing over there trying to make jigs and stuff? I gotta make them perfect, dude. These are falsos. No, just make them out of bone. If you can't do them like super fast, get out of here. We don't have time to wait around for you. It's time for go buffalo hunting. Look, see? It's half past the little sundial. Danny Moore says aliens made Folsom Points. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised because we're like obsessed with them. If aliens came down, they would go, "Hey, dude, they're making this stuff out of rocks. It took us, millions of years to get to that stage, and they didn't. They came up with it pretty quick. Who knows? It's like, dang, the Folsoms are the only ones that are coming close to what we did. Everything else is just all crud. Yeah, I don't know. So what did I miss? I didn't miss anything. It looks like. If you have a question and I didn't answer it, ask it again. Or just say, dude, go back a little bit. The primitive gentleman says, Jack, is there any technique or procedure that you know for sure the natives used? I recall you mentioning sometimes they flatten one side the best they can, then flatten the other side. Yeah, you can tell by some of the bifaces. I've got artifacts and I've got bifaces, and you can tell that they flattened one side first on some of them. Now, it could be coincidence. But if you want to know for sure, how the Native Americans made arrow points, in one example, you just do research on Ishi the Indian. I-S-H-I. Ishi is his name. He showed us how to knap arrowheads for arrows while he was at the museum somewhere near San Francisco, California, or something like that. He came in from the wild, the last wild Indian. He still did his flint knapping and stuff, except he used a lot of obsidian and glass. But we got a little window into how they did it. But you can see a lot of the artifacts have different stages to them, it appears. And in some of the stages, like you were saying, one side is flat. The other side needs to be flattened after that. Hey, Jared 266 is here. Sir Guy. Let's see. He ended up at Berkeley, says Jim Cooper. Okay. Back when Berkeley was an actual university. Yeah, not some freak show. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there for you guys that they keep leaving the chat and coming back and leaving and coming back. There's too many guys leaving and coming back. It's driving everybody nuts. Yeah, there's a lot of OCD and autism in the audience, including myself. We get triggered by people leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back. Just do one or the other. Either stay or leave, and stay leaved. Or stay staying. Remain staying or remain leaving. Pick one. It's annoying. All right. So, have I reached another stage yet? I'm kind of, yeah, sort of. Let me get rid of a couple more lumps, and then I'm going to go. It didn't work. It's excellent material. Even when it's excellent material and everything's set up just right, it's still, I can still mess it up. Maybe it's this. I'm going to blame it on the tool. All right, somebody sent a gift, and I need to figure out what those gifts are. I'm missing stuff. Says Alan says, Patrick, I'm positive you are getting new viewers. James MTWN, what did I miss? Almost everything. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm flint knapping, trying to make an arrowhead. I wish I had some arrowheads that I can show you. I know what I can do. I should have done this a long time ago. Does that help to explain what I'm doing if I leave a book out? Let's see. Sal is in the house. Yay. Thought you maybe I was blocked like somebody else. Let's see. Keith Ricketts is here. That's great material, but we know that the great material was put through heck getting to us, so cracks and flaws are to add sometimes. Yeah. Somebody keeps asking, what's that? What's this? What's that? You ever make Nolan points, Jack? Oh, yes. Those are easy peasy. Don't make me do something easy. I might enjoy it. Let's see. Somebody's getting blocked. If you don't behave yourself, like if you're a Fruit Loop or a troll, you might get banned from the chat. Let's see. Who's your turtles and tortoises? I tried some keel cook today and it did not go well. Lots of veins. See, not all keel cook is the same. There's an example right there. Some keel cook is excellent and some is absolutely terrible. Can you make them third one? What is this? What are these gifts? I can't see what they are. Maybe if I hit the gift button. What is it? I don't know. Guys, you gotta tell me what these things are. I have no idea what's going on. Let's see here. Who's that fella? He doesn't want to be blocked. Yeah, don't block the who's that fella. Flint Snapper's here. A friend just showed me his point collection today. We're all were found on his property, mostly in his garden. I was amazed at the difference, some of the material and craftsmanship found in that one small area. Yeah, yep. That's common. But also remember that sometimes these sites are occupied for more than 100 years. So you may be looking at like 80 different nappers. Go back to napping. You are teaching us. Yeah, but I gotta check the chat, Steve-O. I gotta check the chat. Besides, not everyone's here for the napping, because they're going, what is that? What is it? Is that something people do? I'm here just to look. So, just cool your jets. What is this material? This is Texas chert. I don't want to have to keep saying it over and over again. So, it's Texas chert. And this is Texas chert down there. And there's other stuff back there. Like there's Mookite from Australia in that one. And also in this one. There's Novaculite and stuff also. And then over here, there's a bunch of Novaculite. So I was working on this stuff earlier. I put it out there just for interest. But some people go, wait, tell me what it is. Because if you don't tell me and I don't know, then I'll die because I don't know stuff. I know. Fars says stop nagging. Why? Why should I stop nagging? You got to give me a reason. See? Fars? You got to give me a reason or I'm not going to stop. Let's see. Gary's here for the door prize. I once found a cache of flint balls as big as volleyballs once while I was digging out an overhang. Dang. Let's see. Jim Cooper says, hey, Patrick, while you're checking stuff out, I posted an update on your community of my latest points post-surgery. Awesome. All right, I'll get back to the napping here in a minute. This is a 2-hour live stream, so just start eating sandwiches or something when I'm not napping. Okay? Let's see. All right. So let's see. This next stage is more difficult now. And if you want to be taught how to nap, look at my other videos. I've been posting a lot of tutorials lately in a regular format. So there's no interruptions from the chat. So if you want to be taught how to knap, just go to a regular video, not these live streams. Yeah. You got to be smart with your time, dude. YouTube, you got to be smart with YouTube. You just can't be just hanging out anywhere. Yeah. If you want to know how to knap or be taught, as an example, I'm not picking on you, I'm just letting you know. In case you didn't know, I've got other videos, not just flint knapping on live streams. I've got flint knapping as a regular side gig. Yeah, side hustle. And I make videos. And if it says tutorial in the title of the video, that means you might learn something. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I got rid of the step fracture. It was starting to bug me, so if it bugs me, I will get rid of it. Any little interference with knapping makes a big difference as far as attitude. If you have a bad attitude while you're knapping, it's not going to go well. I'm telling you right now. If you don't have a positive attitude, your knapping is going to suffer. Yep. And that might be why you're having trouble. Yeah, a lot of it's attitude based, and it's just that little subtle difference can make all the difference. Knapping is all about subtleties combined with hitting the rock harder than you've ever hit anything in your life. It's a skill of extremes. Extreme risk sometimes followed by no risk at all. Like it's sharpening on with a pressure flaker, there's hardly any risk at all. But this stage right here, where I'm hitting it very hard to get long and big flakes, it could snap it at any point because it's getting thin. It can snap it at any time. I'm doing the final thinning right now. Okay, this is the hardest part. And once it gets thin enough, I don't have to thin anymore. And then I can just focus on the notching and the shaping and sharpening. That's the typical way that I do it. Now sometimes you can see from artifacts that they don't always proceed in that way. You can tell because some of them are broken during manufacture, so you can see it's like a freeze frame in the manufacturing process. You'll see the broken, you'll see it got broken, but you'll also see where they're at, where it broke. And sometimes you can tell that they've done a certain part before another part. Like you'll see a really dull tip, but a fully formed base, and they took out way too much off of one side, or they overshot and ruined it and they just chucked it, but you still see the tip in the base. You'll see an incomplete tip but a fully complete base, as an example on some of them, not all of them. And or the opposite, a fully sharpened tip and then the base is all wonky and there's nothing, they didn't do much down here yet, but they did sharpen the tip. You never know until you start examining. There's a lot of differences in the artifacts. Okay, so it's not just one way of doing things. I settled into one way because it's faster and more efficient, because I actually sell these things. And I can't be spending all day making them. I'm limiting myself to about 3 or 4 days a week knapping, so I don't kill myself with the dust, for one, and so I don't get burnt out, number two. And rock dust is more dangerous than glass dust or obsidian dust. Rock dust is the most hazardous dust that you can expose yourself to, other than chemical dust or chemicals. Yeah. All right, let's see. This is dangerous. Hitting on the base like this can snap the whole thing in half. But I want to do this before it gets too thin in the middle. If it gets too thin in the middle and I start hitting down here, it's risky and it's not that smart. All right, so here we go. I'm thinning. I'm going to try to make this stem and base really thin. And these are called thinning flakes. That's not a flute. That's actually a thinning flake. Flutes are when they go a little bit further, I guess. It's debatable. They're debating in archaeology all the time about what constitutes the flutes and thinning flakes and various other things because they got nothing better to do. Yeah. I'll talk smack about archaeologists. They should be curating the data a lot better than they do, but no, they're debating about flutes and thinning flakes instead. Things that don't matter. Anyways, what is it going to be? It's going to be it's going to be an art piece. Yeah, an art piece. Never heard of it? Some people in the past did these things in the name of art. I think so, yeah. It also, if you do an art piece, or if you start doing art pieces, it actually breaks up the boredom. I found out. I was thinking about that the other day. Why would they make points so beautiful? And I think sometimes it's just because it breaks up the monotony, and that you actually start enjoying making stuff that looks good, even though you don't have to. You go above and beyond, and it actually keeps you interested. I'm thinking that's why they did it, because it was unnecessary in many cases to make the point so beautiful. It doesn't. I mean, it kills the animal just as well if it's nasty looking. Yeah. Some guys might say, I only want to kill deer with the most beautiful arrowheads possible. Yeah. Because I respect the deer when it's dying in pain. Yeah. And I'm gonna chow down on that sucker, but I want to use a beautiful point to kill it because of respect. Yeah, I don't know. I'm treading on dangerous ground here, because some people do actually try to make these pieces the best they can out of respect. I guess for effectiveness, the more perfect it is, I guess the more effective it is, even if it's just a subtle difference. It's not zero. Making them perfect does increase the effectiveness more than zero. Yeah. The change or the increase in effectiveness is greater than zero. As the internet likes to say these days, some people will hinge their entire argument on the fact that it is significant because it's greater than zero. Yeah. And they'll die on that hill. That's fine. I think it had more to do with the napper not getting burnt out. And keep himself interested in the task. Yeah. This stuff is napping well, but I got to be careful, because if I take a flake that's too long, it'll dive. It wants convexity, and if it starts getting too flat, it starts to not be convex anymore, and you get these little diving flakes that step. Now I'm lucky with this because these flakes are actually feathering out nicely. And that's what makes it a high grade material. If the flakes feather out nicely without step fracturing, yeah, it does have something to do with skill, but a lot of it has to do with the material itself, as far as the smoothness of the flakes and the lack of step fractures. I would say the material has about 30% influence on the step fracturing. The other 70% is luck and skill, which I don't know how to categorize or rate what is luck and what is skill exactly, because on some points you get more lucky than others. Every knapping session is different. Some knapping sessions you get lucky a lot, some you don't. It's just kind of random, so it's hard to tell. But as far as the material goes, I've been trying to study materials and how they knap, and I found out that a lot of materials will actually be very cooperative outside of your skill. So you don't need a lot of skill to make a nice point. Like this high grade raw stuff, it really does cooperate. With difficult material to knap, you need more skill to get the same result. Yeah. And the skill is mostly the skill is mostly in not expecting too much from the stone. Leave it thick. If you're in doubt, you leave it thick. Not only can you finish quicker, but you'll have more convexity and you'll have better flake scars in general. All else being equal, the thicker points are easier to get smooth or to remove obstacles. If the thinner it gets, the harder it is to get smooth flakes and remove obstacles. And the obstacles are mainly the step fractures that look ugly. But if you're just making it to hunt with, you just need to make sure it fits in the haft, and you can sharpen it, and it's the right size for what you're doing. You know, if it's a knife, usually you want it bigger than the projectile points. Usually, because you resharpen the knife a lot more than you resharpen the projectile points. The projectile points a lot of times are just one-shot deals. You just shoot once and it gets ruined. You can't even resharpen it. It just breaks right across where you hafted it. Like if you haft it with something, on something, let's see. That's too big for that one. It's too fat for that one too. Where's the other one? Is this going to fit on this one? Yeah, it fits in there. I thought I had one that would be working well. Oh, okay, yeah. It can break right there across, right where the wood ends. It can break across there and you can't use it. You gotta, you know, you might be able to put another base on it and rehaft it that way, but usually a knife is bigger. That's where I was going with that. And you do resharpen projectile points as well, but a lot of times they're one-shot deals that it breaks somewhere where you cannot reuse it. Okay. I'm not watching the chat. So let's see. And for two reasons. One, I'm trying to focus on this. And number two, I'm not that great at reading comments. And I'll miss stuff. And then I gotta go back. I end up spending way too much time on the chat. All right. Yeah, like that. Beauty. That's what I like. I like those large flakes that make it nice and smooth. I don't need to thin it any more than this. Do I? Nope. So let me just trim it up, and then I'm gonna make a Frio point. Yeah, I forgot. I started the live stream thinking about someone that asked me to do a Frio point, and I forgot. But now, luckily, by stroke of luck, I remembered. So yeah, it's going to be a Frio point. Yeah. So I need to thin it a little bit more. Were Frio points nice and thin? I don't know. I've got a couple of Frio bases. As you know, artifacts. Broken Frio points. I can't really tell if the blades were thinned a lot, because all I got is bases, but I have seen some blades on Frio points and they are thin, but they're also kind of wonky sometimes. There's no set rule on many of these artifacts. Hey, someone give me $5 super chat. Let's see. It's Keith. You know what they always say, a rolling marble gathers no moss. Yeah, Keith makes marbles out of these things. Hey, Wilderness Quest Outdoors. Jay is here. Is Patrick smacking rocks again? I think we all might have a problem, guys. Let me see. I'm at the end of the chat. Frio point with boots? Yes, I'm making a Frio point with boots. Do 10 pieces of it? Let's see. Someone says I have a lot of patience with this craft. It's great. I'm very glad you think so. Gary says, do a Texas pine tree? Yeah, maybe. I might do that. At Little Darts. Yeah, I have at Little Dart 4 shafts. How much time have I spent on this arrowhead so far? It doesn't say how long the live stream's been going on. I started a little bit before 6, right? It's been about an hour. But I spent time on the chat, so it's hardly... I can hardly figure out how much time I spent on it. I don't know, 45 minutes so far? I got it as thin as I need to go. I don't need to go thinner than this. So it's time to shape it. So I'm taking a little break. Someone says, what is this? Called Mighane. I don't know how to pronounce your name. This is oddly satisfying. It is kind of odd, isn't it? Let's see. All right. I'm looking for questions. But see, I lose a lot of people. See that? It was at 330 something. Now it's 130 something. Hundreds of people join and hundreds of people leave. It's so weird. I'm not used to it. I'm used to looking at the chat and seeing 30 people, 25, 30. We only lose like 5, 6 people at a time. Not 50 or 60 or 100. Right? Or am I looking at the wrong number? Am I looking at the number of likes or the number of people? I'm surprised no one asked me, how much does this weigh? What is this, plastic or something? Dang. Yeah, it's plastic. high molecular weight plastic. It weighs, I think, 6 ounces or a little bit more. This thing. This is 3/8 inch copper rod. And I like using indirect percussion because my accuracy with boppers is not that great. Yeah, there's no way I could have done this with a bopper. There are some knappers on YouTube that they can get it to this stage with just a bopper. Yeah. Not me. I start messing it up much earlier than this if I use a bopper. Alright, so I need to make a Frio point. What am I doing? I'm ticking off these areas that look a little bit lumpy. It's a little bit wide for a Frio, so I'm going to have to make it more narrow for a proper Frio. Yes, or I can make a martingale, but I don't want to switch. Some of you guys are going, yeah, Frio, I've been waiting for days and days. I got a Texas book, okay? Stone Artifacts of Texas Indians. All right, so Frio is it's F. These are in alphabetical order. Still not got to the F's yet. Fairland. First View. I'm not going to do First Views or Folsoms. Don't ask. And Frio. See, mine's really fat compared to these. But there are wider Frios than these in the book. I know because I've seen them. I'm going to make one like this. It's got like boots. Right? These look like fishtails almost on some of these. Martindale, I was thinking, let's see, LM. I was thinking of doing this one. But Marcos probably is the best match to this particular size. Yeah. And thinness. The Marcos types are thin like this. The Frios are variable. Some of them are thick, some are not. Okay, so I am going to make this a little more narrow. Where is my pressure flaker? I'm going to lose a lot of people on the pressure flaking because it's going to get monotonous. Where is my pads? Should I do the pads or should I do the indirect percussion to make it more narrow? I don't really feel like pressure flaking for 20 minutes straight, so let's do this. Okay. I'm not going to make it too much more narrow. Yeah, this is less fatiguing than trying to make it more narrow with pressure flaking. And you might say, well, you're wasting it, dude. You're wasting the material because it's so awesome material, such awesome material, and now you're removing it. What are you doing? Well, that's what you get when you request a point style. If you request a point style and the piece I'm knapping is a little bit too big for that style, I'm going to have to remove some. That's what you get. Yeah. And I'm going to have to rethin it. Yes, yes. Well, at least you know the potential of how thin it can get, right? And how wide. With good material, you can make wider points without messing up the middle. See, the middle's not messed up on this one. And it has a lot to do with the material. Come on, let me see. This one was probably 2 inches wide before I started reducing the width to match the point style. Let's see. 261 people, and if you're just joining us, I'm not going to be able to watch the chat very much. Unless you don't care if I break this. If you don't care if I break it, just let me know and go, dude, I don't care if you break it. Just don't forget my question. I'm asking it like 14 times already. If anyone's asked their questions 14 times, I apologize. You probably had to ask it one more time. Yeah. I think that's narrow enough. Yeah. It's going to drive me nuts if I get it more narrow than that. And now I'm going to just go down the edges. Well, it doesn't pressure flake as easy as I thought. Hold on. I'm going to need to thin it a little bit now. Again. Yeah, like that. See, I can't get those with the pressure flaker. I can never fit these back on there. It's like I have a senior moment every time I want to try to put these back on there. Yeah. See, I can't get that with a pressure flaker. Yeah, like that. I can get those with pressure flaking if I strain it. If I strain myself, and that'd be like, I get 2 of those flakes and I'm done. I can't do no more pressure flaking. So I used indirect percussion. Yeah. This I can do all day long. Yeah. It's oddly satisfying. Until you get step fractures. And then some people get triggered. They get triggered by these little mistakes. They change the channel because, nope, don't want to see no mistakes. No excuse. They don't realize that a lot of this has to do with luck. Luck has a lot to do with this. Even with nice material. That didn't go. See, that was bad luck. Dang it. I hit this way, and the flake went that way. See how odd that is? I hit down this way, and the flake went right there and stepped right there. That's not where I wanted it, but it still did it. So now I got to try to get that out of there. It messed me all up. Let's see. Where's my file? I use files a lot now. These little Harbor Freight diamond files. Lifesavers. They do a good job of smoothing out that edge for nice contact with the tooltip. I think it did it. Yes, it did. All right. No, don't act all tough now. Not supposed to. Let's see. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Okay, so I still got almost an hour left, so don't worry. I'll finish this out on the live stream. You may want to come back because this is tedious at this stage. I have to realign and re-thin and re-regularize the edge after making it more narrow. It's still going to be wider than the points in the book, but oh well. I'm going to, you know, split the difference. If I get it, if I mean not get it, if I continue to mess with it, it's going to mess it up. It's already more flakery than it was just a little while ago. I don't like it when it gets too flakery. I like it when there's less flakes. All right, so that's good enough. If I see a thick spot later, I'll remove it. But that's good enough for now. I think Frio points, I think they were made base first, like a lot of these other points. You know, of that era, of that archaic era. In that, I don't know if it's late archaic or early archaic. It's like, if it was near the same time period as Montel, then a lot of the points were made base first. I can't remember if the Frios are in that stage or that time period. Same time period as the Montels. I don't know. They would borrow ideas from each other, the Native Americans, just like any other group at any other time period. They borrow ideas from their neighbors. One of the ideas is to make the notching in the base first in the stem while the blade is thick. That way you break the less chance of breaking the blade during manufacture. But it's also, I think it's highly risky, because when you thin the blade last and you really get aggressive, you can easily ruin the whole thing after spending lots of time constructing the stem and the notches and barbs and all that. But, you know, if you only make one point style your whole life, you figure out what works for you and the materials you're using. Maybe you need to make the stem and the notches and the barbs first because of the material. Who knows? If it's snap and half-ish, you got to be very careful about your procedure. What is snap and half-ish? If the material snaps in half easy, it becomes a whole different ball game. This stuff is not snapping in half, obviously, or it would have broken a long time ago. Yeah, but you can kind of tell by the quality of the flakes as they're being removed if it's going to be snap and half-ish stuff. The flakes that come off, if they break up a lot, you got to start worrying. So what am I doing? The tip is usually something that gives me trouble, so I'm just going to make it nice and neat right now. So when I come back to it to sharpen it, when I'm tired toward the end of the stage, I'm not having to make it nice and neat and then sharpen it. I want the ending stages to be not too difficult to do. I want it to wind down toward the end because that's when I'm most tired. And sometimes I get sick of doing this particular point if it's taking too long. And then I'll mess it up at the end because I'm all frustrated or tired or fatigued or whatever. So I make it easy for myself at the end stages. That's when I need to be my best anyways. For notching and final sharpening and that, you need to be at the top of your game. Yeah. Anyways, let's do this notching stuff. All right, to put these little boots on there, you'll see what I mean about these boot-looking barbs. Dum, 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 dum. And not barbs, but ears. These points are kind of funny in that way. They have a big notch in the middle too. So just get ready for all that. Now, yeah. All right, so the notches are going to be pretty large. Let's see, do I have... I've been using this notcher quite a bit. Do I have enough room? Or am I going to... I don't have enough room. I gotta file this down to be more skinny. Go make a sandwich or something, because this is going to take a while. How long is this going to take? I don't know, less than 5 minutes. But I still got to do it. I got to make sure this flaker, this notcher is thin. I have to drive these notches relatively deep, so I don't want this the thick part on this to hit the sides of the notch. These things get worn down quick if you do a lot of notching, especially on raw material. Yeah, see, I lost a bunch of people. Okay. Is that good enough? That might be good enough. Let's find out. I'm just going to crunch these in. And I've been telling people they can zoom in, but I can't on the live stream. You can zoom in on what I'm doing when the live stream's over. Yeah. In the regular video format, you can zoom in. But during the live stream, you can't. YouTube is stupid. So I'm just trying to figure out where this is going to go. Where am I going with this? And then I'll match the other side. There's a thick spot on this. I need to get rid of that thick spot. Thick spots don't look that great. You can leave them in, but I don't like to. Let's see here. I was trying to get rid of these thick spots earlier, but apparently I missed that one. Okay, let's continue. Now I have, like I said, I've examined real ones of this Frio type, and they vary quite a bit, and sometimes they are Sometimes they are influenced by other points. What is the other point that Ensor? The Ensor points, or Ensor, were made right alongside these sometimes, and then they borrow traits from each other. So there's Ensor or Frios. It's kind of hard to figure out. Is that an Ensor or a Frio? Well, it's got traits of both. Yeah. So I'm just going to be driving this notch in. They tended to make the barbs very pointy on the Frios, I think. So I'm digging in at the bottom of that notch, expanding the notch from the inside to make the barb more pointy as I go along. But I also like to get those little pop outs, and I'm using the flat part to pop those out. And I also use the flat part to grind it down for the next pop out. Like that. Where did the flakes go? They disappear, but you can see I popped these out by pushing in the middle. Yes, almost there. Wait a second. Let me make sure I don't take off the tip of that ear. I think I did. See if I don't watch this, I end up hitting the ear. That's not good. I like a nice pop out at the end of these, or at the bottom of the notches. It might not be possible. I might have messed it up already. We'll see. Yeah, I think I'm stalling it already. How do you not stall it? Well, by thinning it down before you start notching. I'm hitting a thick spot. It looked okay before, but that's a thick spot that I'm running into, so it ends up stalling. Yeah, even if you have a lot of experience knapping, you still get same old problems. Did that pop it out? No, that just cracked it. It sounded like it made a pop out, but it just cracked. That's okay. See, I don't like to stall or create a bunch of white powdery crushing at the bottom, but oh well. Let's see. It's good enough for now. I can probably expand it later if I need to. Let's look, just in case. I want to make sure I get the angle correct on these notches. Let's see. F. Yeah, see, they dig in underneath that barb. See how they dig in underneath it? So I'll be doing that. But some of these notches are wide and some of these are narrow. Although this looks like a martingale to me. I don't know about a Frio. Frios usually have these ears at the same width as the blade. So I'm going to dig in underneath that barb. It kind of creates an expanding notch look. If I spend too much time, it looks too flakery and it doesn't look right. Okay. Yeah, and these ears, they turn upward. Okay. Get the shape here first before I start notching. They don't have to be completely symmetrical. If you noticed in the book, they're not perfect, which helps because it's a real pain to try to get everything symmetrical. That's why I'm not doing Cody points at the moment. Sometimes a material will not notch very well, even though it naps everywhere else pretty good. You know, sometimes you can get an overall shape for a point and it works out well, but then you start to notch it and it becomes a nightmare. Some materials, it's a nightmare to get the general shape, but you start notching it and it's okay. It varies. And yeah, it might not be you, it might be the material. You might think to yourself, when am I ever going to get good at notching? It could be the material holding you back. Yeah, make sure you've got good material when you notch. That way you know if it's you or not. I took a poll one time and asked people if they have trouble notching, right? Or what do they have most problems with or something like that. And notching was very high on that list, or it was the highest. And no one liked doing notching. Probably for that reason, that it's very difficult. It may be the stone you're working with. Some stone will nap everywhere else just easy peasy, and then it gets to notching and it becomes like trying to move heaven and earth to try to get the notches done, so to speak. And if you're applying a lot of pressure toward the bottom of the notch as you drive the notch, if you're using a way too much pressure toward the end, you're not doing it right. Yeah. You shouldn't have to be using a whole lot of pressure toward the end. Now I am using more at the end than I started with, but it's not too much more. And if you expand the notch out, it makes it easier to drive them further. If you do expanding notches, it makes it easier. Gives you more room at the bottom of the notch. So that one is okay on that side. I am going to make them symmetrical. Try to. I just crunch them in. Yeah. And hopefully not stall them. All right, so I think it's a little dart point, so the neck is pretty wide on these. You don't have to drive the notches in very far. See, the neck is pretty wide. I think I'm matching the width on this one. Yeah, I got the same width as this neck here. Let's see if it matches one of the little dart foreshafts. Not that one. It's a little bit wide. The neck is a little bit wide for this particular foreshaft, but this is large for a Frio. I'm not done yet, but almost done. It should fit in. This is one of the lateral foreshaft patterns that I use to judge if the point is coming along well or not. All right, so I got to trim the outside, and if it doesn't look right after I trim around, I will deepen the notches. Yeah, I can still deepen the notches because they're not stalled. See that these notches are not stalled, even though there's a little bit of crushing going on. They're not stalled. I can drive them further, okay, if I need to. So let's do the trimming. Make these fancy. And the archaic points, they don't have a whole lot of flakes, so they didn't really spend too much time being persnickety. I might spend a lot of time being persnickety just for the video. But the real ones, I've seen some real ones that they look like they were made in 15 minutes. They're kind of wonky. They still look good, but they're kind of wonky, some of the real ones. And they're not symmetrical. It's because they didn't spend a lot of time, right? Or they didn't like the little bitty flakes. But I want to make sure I get this right, so I'm going to be taking a little bit extra time. Okay. I'll put the bezel notch in later. There's a notch that goes in the middle. I'm going to work on the sides here. This is basically sharpening and shaping at the same time. And yeah, I'm using the same little spatula tool. I don't want to drive big flakes inward. If you drive too many flakes in, like I said, it looks a little bit too flakery and I don't like it. So with a spatula tool, when it's flat like this, it only takes little bitty short flakes. It's already been ground down, I think. Yeah, it feels like it's been ground down already, so I can do this. So the overall shape is pretty much okay. Let's see. Yeah, some of these are flat across, but I'm doing a little bit of upturn, like a boot, like in the beginning when I said, or when we were talking about making ears that look like boots. That's what I'm going to do. So this down here, this notch will be an expanding notch. Let's see. I'm going to dig into the sides. Yeah, I can drive a big flake. Let's see. Yeah, they didn't go very far, but it looks okay. Let's see. Let's drive a little deeper. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking in the book as I do this, but I think what's happening, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I like it. Let me see. Yeah, it's okay. I'm trying to think. I've got some that look similar to this as artifacts. Let me see. I'm getting a little bit of step fracturing going on, so let's see if I can blow some of that away. See, I'm getting these little step fractures. I don't like those. Well, let's see. Did I minimize it or no? I did on this side. Let me see. Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to sharpen it now. trying to think here. There's a lot of variations in the Frios, and I'm trying to, I can't remember. I can't remember if this is a good shape for the ears. I could just leave it that way, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's okay. For some reason, it feels a little bit off, and I think it might be because of I'm being too neat about it. Okay. Let's sharpen it. You can see on these, I think some of them were resharpened. They got a lot of picking on the edges. Yeah, see, some of these are well picked. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to pick on the edges and thin down the edge at the same time. Theoretically. Yeah, like that. Not like that. What time is it? Oh, I still got about 20 minutes left. Almost. Yeah, I can get this sharpened. When you're down here, there's more inward pressure. As you get near the tip, there's less inward pressure. Dang it, messed that up. I don't like getting those little step fractures near the edge. See, I don't like to get those little step fractures like that near the edge, but oh well. As long as there are not too many of them. And then, you know, as you go near the tip, it's just mostly downward pressure. Unless there's a big lump. And then do a trimming pass. Yeah. I don't know if these had a little twist to them or not. Sometimes on these archaic points, you get a little twist because of they tend to bevel it slightly and just favor one side, and the tip starts to get a little twisted. You know, it'll have a slight twist on some of these archaic points. So I think I'll leave it. Well, let's see. If I see dull spots, I need to sharpen them. Yeah, let's do. I need to remove some edge on this side, or some thickness. Wherever I see thick spots, I'm going to do flaking on both sides. I could just run one pass and that's it. That'd be good enough. But I see some thick spots. Not like that. Too much crunching going on. Dang it. Yeah, let's sharpen this. Okay, let's see. Why sharpen the copper? Because it gets in there. Yeah. You need pinpoint accuracy. Sec. Sometimes I take off too much on one side, then I flip it over and I go, dang it, now it's curved the other way. Yeah, some of these had sharp tips. Okay. Pointy tips. Just flicking at random. Yeah, like that. I did some inward pressure right there, yes. But normally near the tip, it's mostly downward pressure, but there was some thick spots. Yeah, like that. So there's still, I still see kind of a too much mass on top here, but that's all right. I just want to finish this out. And on the real artifacts, the upper third is the sharpest usually on all these. Or the upper half, and the lower half not so much. But I like to sharpen it all the way down. So, well, it's well picked. And then flip it over. I did do some grinding, right, on this side? Yeah. Oops. You want to hear a nice clean snap and not a bunch of crushing. Do I see dull spots?
I see dull spots.
Yeah. Is that well sharpened? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. And we're almost We're almost done with the chat. See if I can get rid of that step fracture. We're almost done with the live stream. I tend to say chat when I mean live stream. So I took a big flake here. Yeah, it's okay. See, I took a big flake to try to get a lot of that out of there, but no, it didn't do it. There's a thick spot on this ear also. Yeah. But next time I'll make these ears flatter at the bottom. Yeah. Next Frio I do, because this looks a little bit off, I'm going to make a flatter one like this and not curly. But yeah, I've seen these pointy barbs like this, like little boots. Yeah, now you can see that it looks like little boots. And I don't know, that might be a little thin for this type of point, but it's okay. Yeah, a little bit thin is okay because we're not going for reproduction, not really, just the style. It's got nice translucency. Yeah, overall it was nice material. Yeah, I like it. What else? Let's see here. Adam says there is a time team episode where they used a knapped stone hand axe and a polished stone hand axe on the same tree. The polished axe did a better job. It took longer to make, but it was much better. I think I saw that one, yeah. Someone explain what kind of rock we've got. Let's see. Let's go to the end of the chat. Oh, dang, look at all those comments. Inception. Yeah, we got lots of different phones in one view. Yay, we got 232 likes. That's awesome. I don't think I've ever seen that many. Most Frios I've seen have a flatter base and a wider base notch. Yeah, I think I'll do that next time. This basal notch is not that large. Let's see. Tommy Anderson, yeah, it's true. This isn't that little dart point. It's not a spearhead, or some people call the little darts spears, so I guess. Gary says, man, I face snapped toasted cheese sandwiches. You gotta lay off the toasted cheese. The bread's it's going to make you bloated. It does me anyway. Let's see. John says, anyways, best of luck, Napperjack. Your expertise is truly awe-inspiring with your ability to eyeball improvements and bring them to fruition despite the complexities of rock matrices. Awesome. That's an awesome compliment. Thank you. I'm looking to see if there's any questions I missed. And I got to check the auction. The auction ends at 9 p.m. Eastern. Google user says, man, clearly is invested in this. He's got books and a lot of equipment to pursue his hobby of choice. Oh yes, I am heavily invested. You have no idea. Let's see. Someone says, many moons he's perfected his craft. Best arrowhead crafter in all the village. You may choose any wife you want, young Arrowfoot. I wish. Well, when I was younger, I thought I made a good choice, but turns out, nope, not married anymore. Let's see. John says, it also takes a certain amount of understanding to appreciate the effort that has gone into developing the techniques, which can be possibly compared to how our ancestors had to innovate and improve. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of thinking that can go into this flint knapping stuff. Salamandra says, I've only been napping for, what, 2 or 3 months, and I'm already having dreams about getting new material. Oh, you have no idea, man. Welcome. Someone asked me, can I make a fork? Donut plus? Or donut please? Can you make a fork? I can, but it's only going to have 2 tines. I'm going to sell this. Yeah, it'll be next week's auction. Not this week, next week. I just did this as a request for a challenge, but the next one I make is going to have a flatter base. Yeah, this one is, it's got like, it's a rocking chair pretty much. Next one's going to be flatter. Some of these names I cannot pronounce. Magdiel, Adriano Escalona. Hola. Can you understand us, English speakers? I don't understand some of these. Oops. Let's see. I'm going to end the chat here pretty soon, in a few minutes. If you have questions, please ask before the time is up. Can you check out my new points in your community and tell me what you think? Yeah, I can go to the community and see. Right? Visit community. And go to the newest. Alright, Jim Cooper. A delayed update post-surgery recovery work. Mostly rainbow. But can't get good pics of colors because it's been cloudy lately and I suck at photography. And some wooden utensils I made recovering while I couldn't nap. This looks excellent. Holy moly. You don't need me to tell you that that looks excellent. That looks fantastic. Yeah. These are fantastic. Yeah. Spoons and stuff. But yeah, the nappings, there's nothing wrong with that. Dang it. I need to get some larger, well, I do have larger pieces of obsidian I need to get to pretty soon. Yeah, so those were the ones you made recently. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. What do you want me to say? Excellent. Nice and neat. These are nice, neat points. Yeah. So, Magdiel is going to subscribe, it looks like. Excellent, thank you. Do you ever attach points to a shaft or spear or whatever? It would be cool to see you do that and test them out. Yeah, I do it sometimes. You can look back on my old videos, I've got some where I actually haft these things. I have foreshafts for a reason. You didn't see? I got these made up in advance as patterns, and I just test them out on these various points. Yeah. So this point is a little bit too thick for this foreshaft, but it fits in this other one. This other one has more room, and it probably is more in line with the size as far as the tip goes. And these will insert into cane or a drilled out shaft. Okay. A lot of artifacts are still attached to their foreshafts in the archaeological record. In museums, you can see them, or online, you can see that they've got foreshafts attached. The average diameter down here is a little bit over a centimeter. A lot of these museums only use centimeters. So these are about average at ladle dart foreshafts. Okay? A centimeter is about a ½ inch diameter down here, down somewhere down in here. It gets wider as it goes to the top, and if you look at artifacts, you'll see that it gets wider that way instead of the other way around. You don't see them like this where it's fatter down here. You see them like this where it's fatter where you mount the point. Okay? Opposite with arrows. The arrows, they usually taper the shaft. These are arrowheads. They taper the shaft the other way for arrows. But with that little darts, they're like this. And with the foreshafts for arrows, it's the same deal. They all have foreshafts, but they're tapered more toward the point. With this end, you usually have a shoulder of some sort and then tapered. I got some of those. Let's see. Do I have them ready? Shouldered arrow foreshafts? No, I don't have anything ready. I've been making mostly at ladle dart points. I do have arrow foreshafts somewhere. Let me see. Do I have them readily available? I should. I'm Mr. Sticks. Let's see. I should have them available. Is it time? Yeah, it's already time. I gotta go. I'll do some arrow points like you see up here later on. I have been requested to do a Clovis hafting. I will do that. And I've also been requested to do some other hafting. Lots of people watching. Let's see. So this is it. I finished it. This will be available in next week's auction. And I'll be doing another one too with a flatter base. Ross says good night. Yep, I'm going to say good night too. Jack, thanks for the instructional videos. Cheers. You do great work, sir. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for the feedback, says Jerry. You're welcome. Tyson has subbed. Awesome. Welcome to the madness. Good night, everybody. Tommy says he carries many darts with one spear. That's good. When I went to Chichen Itza in Mexico to look at the Maya ruins, a lot of the warriors were carrying 3 atlatl darts in the relief carvings on the temples and stuff. 3 atlatl darts in one hand, and then sometimes they would carry the atlatl and the darts in that same hand. But usually the atlatl was in one hand and 3 darts on the other. Hey, Bushy's here. Great point, Patrick. Thank you, thank you. All right, we'll see you next time. Next live stream is on Wednesday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. Alan says, wicked live stream. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Hey, someone came in at the last minute. Says hi. CD Wolf 1. You missed it. You're gonna have to watch the live stream as a regular video. You missed it. How do I get on the auction to bid on your points? The auction is a video on my channel. You just go to my channel. Right? Let's see. Where's my... Okay, videos. That's my auction right there. You just click on that, and there are people bidding in the comments section. You just hit the comments, and then you go to newest to get them in order. Alan says, sweet points, Patrick. Thank you. And then I've got an explanation of each one, and then you can see the description of, like, this one's the first one. It's a raw Mukite corner notch point. Please bid for this one under this comment. And I've already got 4 replies, which are the bids. The bids are the replies, and the replies are the bids. And I hit the like button when I see them. Okay? It's already up to $55 on that one. And I announce the winners at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so let me just hit the like button on everyone that I see. And go through. I got 7 items this week. I see everybody. Let's see. I see you, Alan. Alan bid on that one. We got F Epic, DR Vostube, Tommy Taylor. As an example, we got different people bidding. You just reply with the amount. Just copy what everyone else is doing. And if I see your bid, I will hit the like button. That's how you know that I saw your bid. Sometimes you can't bid or comment. Sometimes I don't see the comments. Sometimes other people don't see other people's comments or bids. It gets a little bit glitchy sometimes, but for the most part, it does work. Okay, and we settle for a price. No, we settle for payment arrangements and the address by sending me an email. If you win, I need to contact you by email. If I already have your information, it's not a big deal. I already know where to send it to and what your previous payment arrangements were. But if you're new, I need you to send me an email if you win. And the rules are in the description box. If you go to more, and then go to more again here, this is the description of... I lost contact. Anyway, hopefully you saw that and the stream was not interrupted. Okay? All right, so we'll see you on Wednesday. Next live stream, 2 to 4 p.m. Wednesday. And that's just before Thanksgiving, I believe. Yeah, the day before Thanksgiving. Okay? All right, we'll see you then. Thank you very much. Good to see everybody. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.